Welcome to East Coast DNA. Today we have another special treat with a new to me artist, but also I would assume you would refer to yourself maybe as an up and comer. Kind of new on the scene, but you're having some success with what have out there already. So welcome, Alvaro.
Hi.
So I ran into you up in Halifax backstage at the Food for the Ears Festival. And we had a brief chance to interact there. I was since then checking out a few of your tracks that you have available on Spotify.
Thank you.
But for people that are new to you and to kind of backfill your story a little bit for my own purposes and give some context, are you Halifax based then?
Yeah, I'm Halifax-based. I live here, so yeah.
Okay, so I'm just curious where you were backstage there. Were you performing with one of the other artists that day, or were you just
No, I
there to support?
wasn't.
Okay.
I was just there to support. It was actually a funny story. I was in the washroom, uh, and I saw Andre Petitpas from Andre the Big Giants, and I said I just had to say something. I said you have a sick outfit on, and he told me about his story and like stuff like that. And he gave me such great advice too. And I had to introduce myself. Oh, my name is Alvaro and whatnot. Then bumped into you by chance right after.
Yes.
Uh, I heard about the event too, the Food for the Years festival through one of my bandmates, Leo, and uh, he wasn't my bandmate, but he was there. Braden Cox, like Braden Cox and Leo Cox, they were there, so they were doing that gig, so I had to come out and support. And I've been
Cool.
following a bunch of artists that were on stage there, and I haven't gotten the chance to meet them, so I met them then there.
Amazing. So let's get a little bit into your story then. When did you start in music, I guess, which is kind of a broad question, but like when did you start showing an interest in creating your own music, maybe?
I'd say when I was probably 13 years old, because I grew up in the Philippines, and like the Philippines is such a musical nation. Like we're so influenced by so many different forms of music, and I knew I've always wanted to be a musician, but I've always been musically inclined.
Hmm.
Uh, I grew up doing performances in school and like entering singing contests and whatnot. And then I've been writing music since then. But then at 13, 14, 15, you don't really know anything about life. So I just wrote whatever. But I always knew I always wanted to put out my music there.
Hmm.
I started putting out my music 2022, excuse me, 2023. I was working with Alex LeBlanc, who goes by Acolyst with the Prism label. And I was very fortunate enough to meet him too by chance through my other friend named Precious Fabile. Uh, we've both been interested in music, and we've always talked about creating music together. And uh, from the production side of things, that's when everything became a perfect storm. But
Hmm.
given such a broad question, I feel like my official start and putting out music was 2023, but all of the stuff I've been putting out since then are created in such different time periods.
And so, what brought you to, like you mentioned that you were raised in the Philippines? So, what brought you to Halifax?
Well, my family and I just moved here, like in 2015, and we've always been uh in talks. Like we've always were gonna move here.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's just, it sounds like it's somewhere your parents just wanted to bring you here. Like that was kind of the
yeah,
plan.
pretty much. Yeah, like I mean, we have relatives in different parts of Canada, like in BC and Ontario. But then we grew up in we lived in Manila, the Philippines, which is a big city,
Yeah.
and they didn't. My parents didn't want a city life, and it was like, oh yeah, we're moving to Canada. And then they were like, oh, okay. Us siblings were like, okay, where? And then it's like, oh, Halifax. I was like, we're not staying in Toronto or like Vancouver where our relatives are. It's like, no, we just like Halifax better because they got to visit different parts of Canada and they really liked it here. And I like it here too. So yeah.
It is, despite it being for Nova Scotia residents, it's the city. I got caught
Yeah.
referring to it as the city to somebody from Ontario the other day. They're like, which city? But I do appreciate that if they were looking for a different change of pace, that Halifax does. I mean, I'm biased because I'm from Nova Scotia and I spent a lot of time in Halifax over my many years. But Halifax is a smaller city. I don't like saying that because I want the huge bands to come. Everyone goes to the city to see shows here. That's why we call it the city. So
Yeah,
definitely bring your big name acts here. We want to see lots of performances. But for the most part, if you're coming here to live here, it affords you the opportunity for a slower pace and you can live in kind of a suburban type lifestyle. You don't have to be right in the downtown core. And it's fairly easy. I'm sure there's people that would contest it as far as congestion, especially with the tolls gone. But
yeah,
I know that comparatively, if you're gonna look at it from being in Toronto or Vancouver or something like that, it's definitely a much different pace.
no,
So
definitely.
yeah, you've got that option of being in the country in just as much time as it takes you to get a coffee at Starbucks. So
Yeah.
it's amazing. So you obviously are sticking around because you're starting to branch out a little bit in your life for independence. You're just at that point in your life. But music is what you've chosen to stick with. Do you have something else that fills your time outside of music, or is this your full-time gig right now?
So this is my, as of right now, music is my 5 to 9. I do have a 9 to 5. But the the best part about this being my 5 to 9 is that you could work on it in almost any way, whether it be,
Yeah.
practicing the guitar, practicing uh, the piano, writing a new song. Work can come in so many different forms in terms of music for me.
Hmm.
It could be either those practicing stuff musically, writing new music, researching opportunities, meeting people like you guys. So I feel like that's how music really fills up my life at the moment next to my job.
Hmm. Yeah, and I obviously Sunday afternoon interviews to promote your material. That's we'll add that to the list. So I can relate being that I'm on the other end of this. But let's get into the actual music that you have released. I did see in the promotional material that I was reviewing too that you've had quite a bit of success with streams on Spotify. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's give me a little bit of context for like the tracks that are getting you some recognition out there and what that journey's kind of been like because it's only been like not even a full 2 years that you've been doing it in this way. So where does that come from? Are you getting people from Philippines? Is it like a Canadian audience? Is it like, what's going on there?
Well, for me, I feel like it's just a testament of hard work and luck.
Hmm.
Sometimes when I was putting out music, I try to tap into the business side of things as well, and with that research and not only creating such work that you're proud of, you also get to study like the algorithms of how to promote your music this way, like reaching out to, people like you as well. And I felt like I really took my time with almost everything, given that this record that I just put out a couple Saturdays ago, majority of the tracks uh, were released incrementally
Hmm.
throughout the years to make up this body of work. I felt that even though it looked like I only had one track out, I was working on multiples of them too, and some of them were submitted. Uh, some of them were just shared over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful to have such a tight knit community, whether it be the Filipino community or the music community here,
Hmm.
that and the amazing artists that I've met here who actually take the time and actually listen to the work. So I still don't know how to explain it. Really, it's just the time. It's just a matter of hard work and luck, really, and
Yeah.
yeah, luck in people resonating with the stuff I put out. Luck in knowing such awesome people who love it and like share it as well. And I couldn't be more thankful, honestly.
And now I want to dig into a little bit of the album there too. I gave it a listen. Um,
Thank you.
the sound, and I always hesitate, and I always say that I hesitate, but talk about it anyway to get into genre. And with this, rather than genre, I was pulling up more vibe, kind of like it has like an 80s pop kind of vibe that is an era that was definitely synth heavy. So I would expect that this would have leaned heavily into that too. But I'm hearing a lot of varied instrumentation as well. So I am curious when you behind the scenes, is this you recording multiple tracks and then mixing it? Is it you collaborating? Well, you already mentioned bandmates. So is it you collaborating behind the scenes with other players to record the album, or who are you working with behind the scenes? And I know some of the answers, but I want to hear your words.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I feel like it all boils down to the songwriting process, and um, I'm very lucky to work with such incredible people that that helped me make the record. But in terms of songwriting process, it varies. Sometimes I write the lyrics first, and I have like song ideas. One of my processes is I condense them into a playlist of what I feel like the song could be inspired by.
Mhm.
Um, and uh, and sometimes they get released. Sometimes they get produced in such a unique way. But in terms of people I worked with, I really gotta thank Precious Fagbile. He's the one who did "Can You Tell Me" track number 5, and Alex LeBlanc, Alex Acalos LeBlanc, who produced tracks 1 to 6. He sound engineered all of them. But I also gotta thank Nova Fiasco himself, Jeremy Boudreau, because uh, he's been working with me since day one, and he's one of my go-to people who I present song ideas to. I said, "Hey, I wrote these lyrics. I was thinking about like a Michael Jackson Beat It, Daryl Hall and Oates type beat for an opener. Can we do something?" And then he gave me the guitar riff for "Eyes on You," which is track number 1,
Yeah.
and then he gave me a melody for it, but I didn't quite. It wasn't what I was kind of thinking of. And then I reworked it on my own time without the melody that he gave me, and I put the lyrics into it. But some of the tracks, like uh, for example, like the track called 2019, I did the guitar for that one. Um, and it just totally depends. And I feel like this record was really such a collaborative process, and I've learned so much from it. But uh, to kind of conclude my answer, it's really a collaborative process, and which was fueled by a lot of inspirations from different
Yeah.
facets of pop music. So if I were to boil down to a genre, I've always been a pop musician, because I feel like it over encompasses what music could be.
How did and well, both one, how did you hook up with, and part B of that question, I guess, how do they fit into that whole picture with the Prism group?
So I feel like it was really a matter of hard work and luck going back to those themes, because I've known Precious since high school,
Mhm.
and I've known his music. I know his aspirations of being in the music scene, and I we went to Doubt together too, and I told him,
Cool.
hey, like I was working on this song, and it's kind of like this idea. This is the chord progression I gave, and he gave me that piano a riff, and then he's wanted to produce music for quite a bit, and
Mhm.
he said, hey, like I found this guy, he could produce your music. And that's when I met Alex, and that's when I met Harmony from the Prism label.
Yep.
And as I was going throughout that process and working on multiple songs, I knew I couldn't do it all by myself. And I know there's so much talent out there in Nova Scotia and in Halifax, and I eventually went back to Dal. Not go back to school because I finished Dal already.
Mhm.
But I, the people who I knew at Dal say, hey, are there students who would probably be open to creating like a demo with me? And I put up an ad, and then rest is history. Jeremy gave me a shout, and then from then on, we just been making music together. And
Amazing.
uh, yeah, it just goes back to hard work and luck, honestly, because I was very much driven to putting this out and completing this and whatever it might be. But also falling in love with the process, no matter how tiring or grueling it could be at times.
Yeah, I love your networking overlaps some of my own, but not 100%. So like it's really interesting to hear because it's not necessarily some of the connections I'm hearing about, but I read about it and I'm like, oh, that's interesting that they're interacting with each other. And that whole crew too. We did have a feature on Harms if anybody wanted to go back. So Harmony's been on the show and is a friend of the podcast. So I tend to keep an eye on the people that have collaborated with me so that I can see what they're up to in the future. So I do follow that whole crew over there. When I see the Prism name up, I like to give it an extra once over just to see what's going on behind the scenes. And I will give them a little shout out as well. Last year, red carpet for ECMAs when I was backstage doing interviews and some photos. They came rolling up the red carpet in style, like the best posse representation I've ever seen. So definitely a good crew to hang out with. They're super professional and still can have a real good time. But you're obviously working with a lot of very talented folks, which is apparent with the release. So, live performance, I'm curious about that too, because every time I talk to somebody that's doing something that's pop centric, I don't like to compartmentalize it too much, but I would say that probably that's where it falls the most, where you tend to have some songs that are collaborations that are done piecemeal, might not be doing it a proper service because the end result you often can't tell. But just from the context of having these conversations, sometimes I know you might get a guitar track here and you might do some vocal mixes in a month. So you don't always have the afforded opportunity to perform the songs live while they're being created. So I'm assuming, given the timeline and the content that you have out there and the online success that you've had, that you maybe haven't been able to focus 100% on a live aspect, but have you performed these songs live? And what kind of configuration does that look like?
So yes, I actually did like a release show for the record Alone.
Hmm.
The record's called Alone. The release show was on March 29th, and it was a live band. And I was talking to Alex of the Prison label about it. I said, "Hey, I really want you to do this with me." And and I feel like configuring a live setup, especially if you have a couple elements that are not present. Like for me, I'm very heavy on harmonies in terms of the record, and sometimes it in this case it wasn't possible to do it with Alex given scheduling constraints and whatnot. But it really made me think about how I could just bring this live and reintroduce it in a different way that's unique to me, unique to my
Hmm.
ears as well. And he gave me such great advice. He said, you know, sometimes it's daunting to think about uh, what these songs would sound like live, but sometimes you got to jump into it. And that's exactly what we did. And I got to give it up to the band as well because they were such an amazing bunch, and they without me even saying what I needed to do, they already knew exactly what to do. And Jeremy Boudreau, who musically directed the band, uh, he just knew what to do, honestly. And I'm really fortunate to work with such like talented people. The same people. I got Dante Kerstead on the drums. I got Leo Cox on the bass, and Iman Yusuf on the keys, and Jeremy on the guitar. And I played the guitar for some of the tracks there. And the configuring it in a live setting was super fun. And it can't really be replaced with a backing track, honestly.
Hmm.
You you really get to see firsthand the musicality of us musicians on a live setting, and I feel more excited to try it out even more.
So with that under your belt, a full album, and like I said, some streaming success almost right out of the gate. What does the future hold? Do you have plans for the rest of 2025 for this project?
Yeah, I really want to introduce this record and myself to the city a bit more. I want to tell people the story of the songs by performing it for them. I really want to learn more about how I could bring this musicality, whether it be live, whether it be just me and the guitar or me and the piano, performing these songs. That's my plan this year. I really want to be able to introduce it to the city a bit more.
Mhm.
And while working on a couple more tracks I have yet to put out.
I definitely want to hear more about the new tracks as you progress through that development as well. If people want to keep an eye on what's happening with you and this project in general and what you're doing to support Alone, would they follow you like probably Instagram or where would you send people?
Yeah, I'd send them over to Instagram at Alvaro Sounds. And everything's there. My links to my other socials, such as my YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, they're all over there. I get to post different behind the scenes footage of me making the record, or sometimes tell the story behind some of the songs and how it came to be. Sometimes I just have fun with it, just share a bunch of memes and whatnot. Not a whole lot, but just like a good amount.
Yeah,
But yeah, definitely follow on Alvaro Sound. So yeah,
perfect. We're definitely in a content creation mode society right now. Like almost everybody is labeled as a content creator in some capacity. So
it
you
really
got to keep
is.
it
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah. So outside of following you there and keeping an eye out for new material in the future, hopefully you'll have some opportunities to perform live in the future as well, so that we can direct a few people to go out there and catch you. I suppose you're trying to get some more exposure in your base city, but definitely if you start expanding outwards into some of the other areas of the East Coast, let us know and we'll promote that as well because our own fan base definitely spreads itself out a little bit over our region. So I'd be happy to let people know that you're coming to their neck of the woods. Is there a physical component to go along with your album or is it a digital only release at this point?
as of right now, it's only digital. I'm still in the works of trying to find out how to get it pressed and whatnot.
Hmm.
But if I may just share, like I do agree in terms of content creation.
Hmm.
For me, music is one thing, but I really as an artist, I really feel that music is as visual as it is audible. And I want to be able to have something physical that you could share with it. Because the including the people I work with who create the visuals for it, I feel like they convey a story in addition to the song. They go hand in hand. So yeah,
Definitely, I'm excited to see what else is coming because I can see the quality that's being put into the efforts and the names that you're referencing. I'm familiar with at least some of them, so I definitely know that you're in some good circles there too. So excited to see what's coming out from all of those camps, and hopefully I get a chance to catch you live in the near future. But for anyone that's new to you, I do know that there's a few people that do like to watch these episodes to find new artists. So we like to end with a song. So is there a track from the Alone album that you would like to play off with today?
I would say "Love Me Casually" because that song was the I would say like the best song in terms of production. Everything just fell into place. It was the easiest song we had to work on together. But "Love Me Casually" is the song to be at.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you very much for joining me today. It was a
Thank you for
pleasure
having
to
me.
meet you. And let's keep in touch in the near future. I'm sure that being both Nova Scotia based, we're gonna run into each other sooner rather than later. So
Yeah.
definitely like to keep in touch. And for those of you that stuck along to the end of this interview, here's your musical treat for sticking around. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Let me love you. 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 Let me love me. Let me love me. Baby, don't you know that you're on mine tonight? We say it's wrong, but why does it feel so right? All the feelings are gone, so gone and out of sight. We'll keep it going cause it never ends up in a fight. It's so physical, we let off steam. You know you keep on making it feel like a dream, baby. Keep it feeding to my self-esteem, but you know your heart is something that I can't redeem. Let me live in my fantasy, baby. I know we know, but now it's only you and me. Temporary remedy, let's relive it endlessly. Just love me casually, love me, light me up and give me all of your body. I wasn't sure until you took control of me. Temporary remedy, let's relive it endlessly. Just love me casually, love me casually. 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 Oh, give me that sensation. Grab my mind and keep it simulating. Tonight, keep an open invitation. We're committed to the moment, keep it running if you let me love you, let me love you. Let me love you, let me love you. Let me love you, let me love you. Let me love you.